The Cave is the second segment of the fourth episode of the fifth season of Arthur, and this taught me something, and I'll discuss that in a moment. But this is all about caves. Mr. Ratburn's class are doing a project on caves, and they have to create their own model caves, which I thought was a lot of fun. It's something I remembered quite well from my childhood, particularly Binkies for some reason. The image of Binkies has just been ingrained in my mind. And I thought it was a really fun class project, something that I would have loved to have done when I was younger. And it's obviously quite educational for the viewer. There are facts about bats and other parts of the cave, which again I'll talk about in a moment because I did learn something. And it's also ultimately about being scared, and that it's okay to be scared, and that actually you shouldn't make fun of people for that because you might be scared too, because they're going on a class trip to caves, which is quite exciting. I'll be honest, I wouldn't want to go in too deeply into a cave, not because of the bats, but because I'd be scared of it being filled in somehow. Um, but Arthur expresses that he's slightly concerned about the bats, and the class, or certain people in the class, make fun of him for this. But it turns out that actually, when they're faced with it, other people are scared too. And by this point, Arthur has learned that there's nothing to be scared of. So he's the one who's being brave. And it just shows that you shouldn't make fun of people for being scared of something, because you never know how you will react in that situation. And people have different tolerances and are scared of different things. It was also very educational about bats. But the thing that I learned, and I didn't just take it as fact, I did spend about 5 minutes Googling this afterwards, but the thing I learned is that the pronunciation of stalactites is different in America to what it is in the UK. In the UK, we say stalactites. It's going to sound really weird coming out of my mouth, but it's stalactites in America. And I wondered if it was just Arthur saying this, but I googled it and listened to some online pronunciations, and yeah, it seems like it's a case. In the UK, stalactites. In America, stalactites, which blows my mind. So that was a bit of interesting fact that I learned there. Interestingly, they only ever talked about stalactites and not stalagmites, as far as I can remember. A good episode, educational, fun, great message about not making fun of people, but also about not necessarily being scared of things because they're not as scary as what they seem. Had a lot of fun with it. The Cave is definitely a really good episode.